Good morning, everyone. It's Angie Pettyjohn of the Pettyjohn team of Mortgage Alliance. How you all doing today? I'm so very excited. I have Dan Cooper of the Dan Cooper team here with me this morning. And Dan, I'm just so thrilled to have you with me to talk about market updates and the trends. Um, you're a friggin' icon. Like, people just love Dan Cooper, and your newest We Are Dan Cooper marketing strategy. It was just absolutely brilliant. So congratulations on that. Dan, you've been helping families since 1991. We're not going to do the math on that. It's been a very long time. So congratulations on that, and over $2 billion in sales over that time. Um, Dan, I wanted to have you on this morning because, well, first of all, you've been in the business for a very long time. You've seen lots of ups and downs. Obviously, this is something that it's been unprecedented. But in your views, I'd like to see what you feel, where the market is, the trends, that sort of thing. So let's start up with, do you foresee any emerging trends through this?
Well, first of all, thanks, Angie, for having me on your Coffee with Angie on Fridays.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that. Yeah, obviously, we're going through a bit of an unprecedented time, and you just have to put it in perspective because we've had setbacks in the past. And, a few months down the road from now, we're going to look back at this as a blip in the radar screen. So you have to kind of roll with the punches. And if anything, you need to embrace the change and look at it as an opportunity. As weird as that may sound,
Yeah.
there's companies out there right now that are crushing it. And if you're asking what's different, what are the trends these days, I would have to say, look at video conferencing. It's just gone through the roof. Look at
Yeah.
Zoom meetings and I don't know, Google Meet, all these virtual setups that people are doing. Everything is more going online quicker than you anticipated. So you need to have a business platform that works well online because, as we know, the conventional methods we're leaving them far behind. And I think we've accelerated into the next marketing platform a lot quicker than we thought. This whole COVID thing just gave us a little bit of a push.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, for instance, us being on live right now probably would not have happened had COVID not happened. Being in front of, thousands of people versus, our one-to-one coffee chats that we would have normally had. So I've embraced it, and I know your whole team has, as well. Um, what's happening in sales right now in real estate?
Well, again, it's a whole new reality. And if you look at our market was just really getting up to speed this spring because we had some setbacks over the last couple of years. I mean, if I take us a way back,
For sure.
yeah, I mean, we had an amazing market for years. I mean, the last real recession we had was in the early 90s. So from 1990 to 96, the market came off dramatically. And since November of 96 to basically 2017, it was an upwardly moving market where we were doing 6, 7, 8% per year,
Hmm.
well above the cost of inflation. The only setback we had probably was in '08 when we had a bit of a financial market meltdown, which was very short lived. And so
Yep.
prices at that time came off about 18% at the peak, but they were back weeks later. And you
Yep.
know how volatile the stock market is, even through this whole COVID thing. But
Hmm.
real estate, okay, so we got to 2017, and then we had, through the liberals' infinite wisdom, we had all these taxes put in to try and retard growth because things were accelerating too fast.
Yep.
I guess that started off with foreign buyers tax. So that was April 2017, and that was kind of like the beginning of the end.
April 16th, 2020. I remember the day well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we had the foreign buyers tax, and then I think we had 5 interest rate hikes.
Yep.
And then January of 2018, then we had stress testing. So that took about 1/3 of my buyers out of the equation because they didn't
Yep.
qualify under the new rules. So the market from, mid to end 2017 to the beginning of 2020, it was not great. It was better in the 416 area code, a little lesser in the 905.
Yeah.
But January and February of this spring was fantastic. We were just killing it with deals. So everybody was back. The enthusiasm was here. We had a lot of traction in the marketplace and things were on fire. And so then that brings us to COVID. And so that just stopped things. And it was a big like, what? So
Yeah.
everybody went to the sidelines and everyone was scared to make a decision. So they should. So we've had 8 weeks off. It's been a bit of a chance to work in our business as opposed to work in it.
Yep.
And, you know, people are waiting for some good news. So even this week we're getting, you know, a lot of restrictions waived. And I personally think it's going to be, relatively speaking, business as usual. As soon as we go into June, I have a hard stop date in my business where June 1, we're going to be, you know, back at business in a big way and anticipating a real onslaught of business because there's a lot of pent up demand, both on the buyer and the seller. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the interest rates. You can borrow. I mean, this is where you come in.
Yep.
You know, you can get 5-year money at like 3%, 4%. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Less than 3 right
So,
now, Dan. Yeah.
and so what's really happened lately is investment is not a dirty word anymore. So suddenly a lot of people that have equity built up in their homes are realizing that now this may be an absolute perfect time to pick up an investment property. And everybody should have 1 or 2 investment properties because at the end of the day, real estate is a really good, I guess, vehicle that you can count on that, you know, it maybe not, you know, liquid at the best of times, but, you know, year over year, real estate tends to do better than the fickle stock market.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's going to be some unfortunate circumstances where there'll be sellers in a stressed situation, a distressed situation. But if we can make it a win-win for everybody, you know, help those sellers and have a real estate investor purchase those properties, I think it ends up being a wonderful win-win for everyone, for sure. So can you give me some strategies on how you and your team have adapted during this time with your showings and closings and that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, we've been forced to go as online as possible just because we have to adhere to the new restrictions and policies that have been put in place short term. But in fact, just the last few weeks, most of our deals have been done online from a very virtual perspective. In fact, many cases we haven't even met the clients. It's been all online, and it just makes you realize how accessible and easy this is to do. So I think you just gotta make sure that you're embracing the latest technology so we don't have to sit in front of people the same way we do. I mean, when this is over shortly, you're going to see a lot of people not going back to their conventional office space. They're going to be working from remote locations. Both my kids, you know, in Toronto are working remote now, and who's to say they'll ever go back to an office space? Because it's the new reality will be that people will be working from their homes a lot more than they were. And we didn't know this, but it happened a lot quicker than we thought.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we're going to see a massive shift whereby employers are going to say, we made it through it. We trust our employees. So let's allow them to continue working from home. And then we're going to see perhaps some downsizing in commercial size of their business, like the units that they're in. And I think the other thing's going to happen during this time too is people are reassessing what their employment is. So perhaps on my end, there may be some difficulties in the self-employed mortgages. But in total, I think we're going to see this a massive shift right now.
Well, the good news is I have not seen a price reduction or a drop at all.
Right.
Prices have remained very stable. In fact, just the last few deals we did last week, they were selling in multiple bids over ask. So that makes me realize that there is a lot of pent up demand. And if you just look out there right now, inventory is at an all-time low. So I know buyers and sellers want to transact in real estate. They're just waiting for some good news. And that good news is starting to happen is, you know, every day they're you know, taking off the restrictions. So you're going to see things come to life in a big way. For the last 2 months, it's crazy because, you know, real estate and Toronto Real Estate Board is saying prices are down, not so much prices, but, you know, just sales are
The
down,
sales.
you know,
Yeah.
60 to 70%. New listings are not coming on the same way they are because people are scared. And all we need is the COVID thing to get under control as it is. And you're going to see probably mayhem in the marketplace. We're going to have a spring market. It's going to be late. It's going
Yeah.
to be going into summer. And so if I could give anybody some insight and some news, I would say by beginning of June, like in a couple of weeks from now, that's the time to get your homes on the market. There's no inventory, so you know the buyers are going to be really looking at your property seriously, and interest rates are so low. And how we don't know how long this is going to go for because they talk about maybe a second wave in the fall. So there may be a few months where we need to get all the business we want to do for the year packed into 3 or 4 months. And so I've got all hands on deck, going crazy, ready to roll as we speak.
Yeah, same with us. I mean, our big suggestion right now is get ready for that purchase that's going to come on the market right away. And the only way you're going to do that is to have that pre-approval in place. And really, Dan, over the last couple of weeks, for us in particular, we were flying as well, as you know, and a lot of listings came off, and we came to a halt in April as well, with new people coming forward. Those people are coming back, and we've seen that over the last couple of weeks, a lot more activity with our buyers, interested in knowing what they can qualify for, and you know, questions about their income, if they've had to decrease hours and that sort of thing. So we're seeing some positive activity again, and people coming out of the woodwork. And I have to agree, people were really afraid about the unknown. Again, unprecedented times. And if I sell my property, if I buy a property, is my property that I have for sale going to go for what I'm hoping for, and I'm not stuck with a purchase, and my down payment is I can't match my down payment. So
well, you must be pre-qualifying a lot of clients right now for a future mortgage. And can you protect them for 90 days?
yeah, and there's some lenders that we could do 120 days. Anybody who was pre-qualified prior to March 26th, I believe, we were able to keep use their income qualification as is, but anything after that, some lenders wanted us to use updated pay stubs right up to the day of closing. So this little bit was a little tricky, but moving forward, it's really qualifying them just like any other time. And in particular, if their income hadn't been affected, then they're coming back. They're coming back. It's the self-employed people that are going to be in a difficult situation. And over the years, that's been the problem all along.
So a tip for your future mortgage applicants, they should pre-qualify with you right now. Get the rate protection for 120 days if at all possible, because
for
you know
sure.
interest rates may bounce a little bit, and right now they're probably as low as they're going to go. And
Yeah.
I think that the trick is, if you're selling, get your home on the market as soon as possible because of limited inventory. And if you're buying, I mean, anytime's a good time to buy, and now is as good as ever because there is some motivation out there, because there's some people that didn't fare as well as they wanted to through this time.
That's right.
So, you know, you probably cut yourself a pretty good deal right now if you're out there looking.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, my team, like we've continued working through all of this, and we're ready. We're ready for that onslaught. We believe the same thing. We believe there's going to be a return to that incredible spring market that we were having and enjoying between January and April. We had quite a few closings in April, and May and June, as you know, that's our busy time, June 30th being the busiest day of the month. So we're foreseeing some major activity coming forward. We encourage everyone to get out there. We encourage everyone to get their pre-approvals in place. I want to shift now. I want to talk a bit about your marketing strategy for your team. We are the Dan Cooper. We've got about 5 or 6 minutes left here, Dan, and I want to give you that opportunity to talk about that because that was brilliant, as I mentioned earlier. So tell me a little bit about you and your team and your offerings.
Well, again, I've been in the business for 30 years and we've seen a lot of different marketplaces. And again, as I said earlier, I treat every different market as an opportunity. You just have to sort of shift how you're doing business. So when we hit 25 years in the business, we wanted to go through a complete rebranding as we did. So we just wanted to come up with a fresh new look, something a little more youthful, clean. And so, we kind of piggybacked on to, the beer companies had that I Am Canadian concept going on. And so we came out with the I Am Dan Cooper, We Are Dan Cooper. So we have a lot of branded Mini Coopers on the road done in a Burberry wrap. And we're having fun with the brand and we're having fun with the business. And I guess the good thing about this whole thing is that I've got a very small team, but a very productive team. But we just have a real passion for the business. And so we just get in deep with our clients and really, really try to get them the best products and services. And we've always tried to be at the leading edge of new technology. So, I was the first to have a website and, we try to do things first. And I created a mastermind group that we meet monthly to discuss marketing and technology and changes in the marketplace. And I deal with the top agents right across the whole GTA. We're all in different geographic neighborhoods, so we don't mind sharing each other to make sure the clients that we have the latest tools. But during this whole COVID concept, it's given me a chance to sort of step back into the business and work on it versus in it, as I was saying. And just look at the opportunities and be fully invested. And we haven't had a day off. If anything, we're busier now because there's some days where I'm doing like 10 hours of Zoom meetings. And the beauty of that is you can get up close and personal with your clients. Doing one-to-ones with people is something we probably didn't do enough of in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're giving more love to our clients now than we ever did. And so if anything, it's given the whole world an opportunity, a chance to hit the reset button and look at how they were doing business, how they were living their lives and realizing the excess they had and what they don't need and what do they need for the future. So, I think it's been a positive experience in a weird way. And hopefully we'll get through this soon. But if you look back, I mean, we've had pandemics, we've had viruses come and go. We've had a serious pandemic probably once every 100 years. We had influenza, the Spanish flu back in the early 1900s. And before that, we had cholera in the 1700s. So we've had our issues, but everything is so quick these days with technology and social media and online presence that, we make it into a big deal. And so all I can say is embrace the change. Try to lead your business, don't follow, and look for the opportunities and work on the business and just take a chance to get organized.
I agree. I feel we've done just that. Dan, this has been an amazing conversation, very upbeat and very positive. So I thank you for that. We're going to open it up now just for a few questions. I see we have a question here. Let me see. What do you think the effect will be on real estate market once people have taken advantage of the mortgage deferral option, having to start making mortgage payments? Do you think there will be an influx of house listings?
Okay. Yes, there will be some inventory that hits the market that shouldn't be there because people are now motivated and have to sell for other reasons. Not everybody fared the storm as good as everybody else. If you're in the tech sector, then you're not even feeling this COVID. But in fairness, if there's more inventory, that's a good thing because right now we have no inventory. And the only way the market will settle down is if we, demand meets supply. And so right now I can tell you that we do not have enough inventory. So if by chance you need to sell your home, sell it now, because you will probably get overcompensated for it and look back and think what a smart move that was. So again, I think our market's going to be back in full swing in the next few weeks. June, July, August, I think, are going to be on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, people are going to look back and realize this wasn't a big deal. It is now. It always is when you're in the trenches, suffering, staying inside, social distancing. I get it, but this will be over shortly.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Someone is saying her sister sold in January with a June 30th closing, needs to buy, but doesn't like the inventory. Do you see a lot of new family homes coming on the market?
And I do. And again, that's what I'm asking for right now. I'm urging people to list, so we have that inventory to kind of balance out the market right now. But yes, it's a bit of a leap of faith, because if you're looking to buy, there's not as much as there should be. But shortly, I would say within a month, you're going to see the inventory really start to escalate.
And what are the numbers? What is a nice balanced inventory that you'd like to see out there right now?
Are you talking like in units or?
Yeah, units.
Well,
Is that,
right now, I guess the average sale price of a property in the west end of the city is running just over $1 million. And last month in April, which is, we had like 400 trades, and so we're down, as I said, about 60%. But this is a short-term problem. And again, we've always had enough inventory. It's just that I find that I typically do the same business every year, but I do it at different times in the year based on micro events. And so this event, the COVID event, has stopped the market now, and it's going to be busting at the seams going into the spring.
right. Well, that's what we're all hoping for. We are just over 20 minutes now, Dan. I'm just going to take another quick look to see if we've got any other questions. We've got a question from Facebook. So it says, I hear pent-up demand a lot, but could it also be considered pent-up supply? And what do you see the effect for pricing?
Well, I think there's pent-up demand on behalf of the buyer and the seller. And so it depends what side of the fence you're sitting on. Do you want to buy and sell, or both? But again, I feel that the market is relatively balanced right now. The only thing I mentioned is that I think we're low on inventory. So the big thing is, with rates as low as they are, you're going to see a lot of buyers coming out looking for an opportunity to buy, upgrade, or buy a second property. And this is the perfect time to invest. And so, Angie, back to you. You should be looking at all your clients, finding how much equity they have in their home, and urging them to part with some of that money as an investment, and grow their portfolio.
I agree. Well, we got another question here, Dan. Someone's asking, can her sister meet with you and your team on a Zoom call, or perhaps in an open area respecting social distancing?
So what are we talking, 6 feet?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm quite happy to say easiest way to get a hold of me is website, dan@dancooper.com. That's my personal site. And yes, I'm always looking for new talent on my team. I'm looking for bright new stars that want to take on the real estate world. So if you're an agent and you're looking to join a team, and you have that passion and that desire, that perseverance, that drive, that hunger burning from inside to make some good money, and I'm all ears. Please bring it on.
And I think also, if she was talking about meeting to talk to you about selling property or buying property, same format, reach out to you through website, phone numbers, everything are there.
Yes.
And obviously, if wanting to join your team, the same contact info.
Absolutely.
And if she was talking about me and my team, yes, definitely. Let's pre-approve you. Wasn't sure what her sister was doing. Any other questions, guys, before we head out? We're just on 25 minutes here. All right. Last question for Dan Cooper. What separates your team from others?
Well, okay, that's easy. I would say that my team members and myself share a real innate passion for the business. We go above and beyond for our clients. It's not about the numbers; it's more about the quality. And you know, we I know right now we have over 500 Google reviews with a 5-star rating, so that kind of gives you an idea as to what we're all about. But I think we hold weekly team meetings, and I just want everybody dialed in and driven and supporting, you know, my insight into the business. And so again, I've always been a big marketer, and I've always been from the opinion that you have to spend money to make money to get yourself set up. And so we have a lot of marketing pieces going in and around Oakville and Mississauga, Burlington. And so we're heavily invested in that side. So I guess the best thing to do is just make sure you do have that burning desire and that passion for the business to take care of your clients.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. All right, everyone. That concludes my morning chat. And today I was honored to have Dane Cooper join me to sum up. Look out. We've got an influx of business coming our way. We thank you so much, Dan. We thank your team for jumping on here as well, for your insight, your knowledge, and your friendship. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Angie.
All right, everyone have a great day. Bye now.